maybe even potentially the range on the top, which is sitting like somewhere around 46.33. Is there levels in between, right, that we would hit? Probably, of course. We're not going to go straight up, but this level here is your go-to level. I'm not interested in initiating too many longs here, guys. Personally, I don't care to catch this initial break. I want to catch the retest of this major level. I'm not initiating any longs here tomorrow unless it's a drop to POC or something of that kind, but nothing above here am I initiating. You know, they can run 15 points between 2021 and 24. I'm not really interested. If you guys go here and, you know, draw your, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and almost 6.5 weeks, look what we have here. I mean, just look at the FVP that you're looking at, because you're back in that balance, right? So if you go here, change it 68, look at your first standard deviation right here. So you're looking at 44.12, which pretty much matches the 44.9 level. It's heavily congested. And you change this to second standard deviation and you're looking at 44.18. I mean, I just don't see a reason for me to initiate any longs in between this range because the reward is minimal. If we're in a balance here for next couple of weeks, and I believe tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's JPOW. I think there's 5 speakers tomorrow total tomorrow. They can spook or break the market to the upside, right? If we see a nice breakout tomorrow, it should be enough to do this, right? And it could be that they say something that's positive tomorrow, they break, they come back, and we take this trade here rather than an initial one on a break. I would just be very careful. What you want to pay attention tomorrow is you want to change to about 10 minutes. If you do see this breakout level, just relax, don't freak out, you didn't miss anything. Let them break out in 10 minutes, but make sure that volume is massive. If it's not massive and the price is not going to be validated at those levels, most likely that retest is probably going to fail as well. So look for, you know, go above, make some highs, let the full candle close above the level, which is 44.24. And then if you're able to hold it, you go for it. Otherwise, I would be very cautious initiating a lot of trades tomorrow. If there's that many speakers tomorrow, each one of them will probably throw confusing. I mean, why do you need 5 people to tell you what's going on? Like, is not enough? They couldn't consolidate that a little bit well, because everybody's gonna say, you know, whatever the hell they want to say, and it's just gonna be confusing to the market, and it might take you perceive it one way or another, and, you know, fight, and then the other guy says something else, and it goes down. So you're gonna have to be somewhat quick. Even today, I'm not sure if you guys took too many trades, but you have to be fairly quick on some of the profits, especially on shorting side, because they were just really coming back for stop losses. Anytime you shorted, it was quick. Bounce back, erase that, and then drop without you. So I would just say caution initiating any longs here between 09 and 24. Is there a chance you could scalp this here? Yeah, definitely, right? It's 15 points, 15 points. But as you saw how many Sigma 2, Sigma 2, Sigma 1 is all in between here. And then there's a level here as well. Do you guys know what that is? Right here. June POC sitting at 16.5. So it's not some of the levels that you want to be messing around initiating longs. I did start some SPY puts here. They were up almost 10% after the initial drop here. So let's see what they do tomorrow. Okay. In terms of the daily, right? If you guys go on about 5. What do you guys see? It's so bad. Anyone see anything interesting? So you have a ledge right here, sitting a massive ledge here. Right, 44.02, where we had the weekly VPOC, and you have a really, really poor high, and then you have a really poor low. So, and you did break this when you think about it, right, from the daily. Well, am I making sure no, I'm not on daily. I'm like, man, this does not make sense. Well, the weekly is still poor high. Even though we broke here, we are very close to that breakout level. So if they pop above and fail, what is the most likely scenario we get?
80% roll back to the
So I would definitely watch, I mean, right where this value area high is of the 2 days, which is about 43.88. If you lose that level, there's a high chance you're going to go somewhere around 81. Losing that, you're probably targeting somewhere close to 66. And that would be just based on the volume profile that we are looking at 3 days here. Value area shifted here. We are in P shape. And you guys know, if you're in a P shape short cover rally, like we might be here, like a last little glitch, if they're able to break this tomorrow, basically they break the poor high here on the daily, there's a high chance that we get another P shape here. If this P shape today, if this one fails, this is coming back most likely somewhere around here. This level here, I would expect this to hit kind of like the value area low in between this POC that we had for a couple of weeks. Here, it's sitting at 70 right now. So breaking this, then you can target something a lot lower, right? The idea would be that you're going to go to about 41.40 back to it. So you crack this, you're coming back here. Does that make sense? Is it going to be straight shot? No. You have this, you have this, they're going to drop, bounce, drop, bounce, drop, and then you see all these volume nodes. It might go there, and if something is set between feds, 5 of them, it could look like that, right? But I would anticipate the right model to be, I still think that the structure that we left behind, you know, in these couple of days or 7 days that we've been running, I mean, that doesn't take too much to figure out that it's horrible, right? So if you draw the FVP from the bottom to the top, it should give you a clue how the profile looks, right? And there's not much there, right? When you think about it, there's so many gaps, right? There's some single prints as well. It looks pretty pathetic, right? When you look at the structure and where we can bounce. Previous week POC somewhere sitting at 41.86. If they start cracking below that level that we mentioned, the cumulative level here of, let's see, what is it, 43.69-ish. If we're able to crack below that, then you're targeting this level here, 33. You lose 33, you're going 42.71, and then so on and so on until you get here to the PVPOC. And most likely you're going to hit the first SIG on the bottom because that's where the value is going to be found for the long-term buyers. I would expect them to hit between 2 and 3 SIG and potentially bounce from here. Let me make sure I have this on 68. So this one here is most likely the bounce that they're going to go for. 42.69 and the previous, if you guys remember, it was a previous resistance, just gapped over it. So this would be a really, really good retest here. And if they fail below that, I think the magnets are going to drive it all the way to 2 SIG on the bottom somewhere. So the 2 SIG is at 41.66 and 3 SIG sitting at 41.35. So this is a pretty wide range, about 23 points. But I would expect this to be, if they fail this level, 43.69, we're going to come back all the way. Ultimately 42.67, but first 41.33. Okay. Zooming in. For tomorrow downfall, is there any levels that I would play differently? Oh man, so they do have some single prints here, but it looks like a pretty strong profile. See volume, it's pretty tricky at the moment. I mean, if we lose this volume node here, you could probably target something losing 89, but you're not getting much points, guys. I would definitely, if you're able to lose that 69 level right here where we bounced previously, if we lose that, I would target somewhere around 33. It's about 30 points, most likely would fill quick because there's no volume there. So I would still, safer bet is if you enter these single prints. But I would say if you lose 69 here at this level that we identified just moments ago, being the cumulative POC, if we lose that, then most likely we're gonna go down. Yeah, we lose this, hit the single prints, poor low here, highly retest. 7 points, I wouldn't go for that. I would most likely drive for the bottom. Lose that, go to the bottom, but that's 25 points away. So it doesn't have the best setups, to be honest, for tomorrow. There's obviously they've been running and squeezing it, but they didn't leave the best setups to play. The only other one on the upside is if you come back to this POC here, 43.83 or so, I would look to take this right here. If this comes to a retest, I say this is pretty good here. This is a good retest level for us to go along. And it might be the first retest that you catch this, otherwise it might not work. Because if they lose this and there's a lot at this level, high chances it doesn't work for us. They cannot lose this just because that would be below the PD value area low. They would be back in a 3-day balance, and it wouldn't be the best setup for the bulls. So let's see what we do here. Okay. Any questions on this? Let me look at NQ. I know there are druggies here. Well, I think this is all the levels I had pretty much for this week, but it seems like we got there a little bit sooner. If you're able to crack through this, I would target 15,468 first, and then it would be 15,553. This is my ultimate target. I would expect us to slow down drastically here. The break of the today's high, I would say, is your go ahead, considering we're in another P shape, another short cover rally. Maybe the market got a little too short here. And then they basically squeeze them out one more time. Because it's honestly, there's nothing more frustrating for these bears when they get into decent levels, good levels to short, and then they just pop through it on the upside and they get killed, right? They get a little terrified of shorting and then they feel like they missed out, then they jump in long and then they dump, right? So if we break this, and this trend line here, I drew it today, I believe it's 4 hours, maybe even more. Let me go on 3 days. Yeah. It's this trend line here. I mean, for whatever it's worth, it has 2 touches today almost, I believe, touched. Yeah, it touched here perfectly. So it touched the 13 level along with that trend line. So that was a pretty decent short there. And then obviously you were traced back all the way and then pumped down a little bit more. But now I would say you're below this POC. Let me make sure my eyes are okay here. Oh yeah, we're below the we're below the PD POC here barely, right? If you're able to open above it, your bias has to be somewhat bullish. And the break of the 14, I would target 68. And this might be very quick. If they do it overnight, unfortunately, they would erase one of the easier plays, right? And then you would have to wait for them to clean up this level here and then target. But just imagine that you're initiating longs at a major supply, and you see the shelf size right here that we have. The next shelf is even, easier to break over. So if you enter the shorts here, there's probably a little bit more chance that we're gonna potentially slice through that and clean the next liquidity at 722, like this supply zone. And there's I guess, a VPOC there at 690 is 692 or so. Okay, so I would definitely watch for the break here, especially if you open above the PD POC. Watch for the PD value area high, which happens to be somewhat. Let me make sure, is this high of the day as well? Yeah, so pretty much the high of the day and PD value area high together.
Yeah, they're up there at 13, 12, 13.
Yep, so if they do something like this, we're to kind of exit here and then re-enter if they give us the chance. If there's any good news tomorrow that come out, we might not catch any of this. This would be just another 140 points for them, and it might be very quick. Okay. Where would I short? I would probably look. I mean, when you look at this, if we are able to not, if we gain this POC and we lose it, I wouldn't mind taking a stab below it. And if you want to take it below this high volume node that we have here, probably a safe bet below 353. Ideally, the setup that I would look for is to revisit this level here. This level, if you look here, is a little bit different than ES. I think it would offer a much better bounce than what ES might offer there, right? So you see we had nice volume of consolidation here. So somewhere around 15,207, I would draw a little demand zone around this. And I would use this as a bounce zone for me to go long on a retest. Okay, so this would be the level I'm watching for potentially taking a long. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, let's thank you and ES. And my son's birthday is tomorrow, so we have some stuff to do in the school with him in the morning. So I'll be gone for a little bit, and then I'll join for the afternoon session, hopefully sooner. And then I will not hold the watch list because we have some family coming in tomorrow, just FYI. And then see you guys Thursday for market update.
Thanks,
That's
Shorty.
awesome. Have fun. Thank you, Shorty.
Alrighty, guys. Bye. Have a good one.
Have a good one, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody. Mr. Bean, you should have known that level, that 4412 level. I know you had it on your chart.